Alrighty, folks. Welcome to another monthly live stream. I don't know which camera I'm on. This one. This one. Here we go. Yeah, we're here with Jamie and myself, Raging. Say hello, Jamie. And we're here to bring you our monthly update, as per usual. We've got some movies in store for you that we are looking forward to, and some TV shows that there's definitely that I'm looking forward to. A couple of games and a couple of topics we're going to touch on today that are media related, but also if you're not really into politics, then you might want to tune out of that. But let's start off with some movies. First up on our list is a movie coming out next week. Or actually, let's start with one that's coming out today. Today is the Naked Gun. It's technically a reboot / sequel in the long-running Naked Guns franchise started by Leslie Nielsen, which was actually based on a show called The Police Squad from I think from the 60s or 70s. And yeah, I mean it's a cop comedy spoof type thing. If you're familiar with shows, what was that one show called? Brooklyn 911 or whatever it was called, with Andy Samberg and stuff. It's similar to those kind of shows, right? They got cop cases, but they're all goofballs, right? So the newest Naked Gun stars Liam Neeson, and it says, following in the footsteps of his bumbling father, Detective Frank Drebin Jr. must now solve a murder case to prevent the police department from shutting down. Pretty simple plot, but it's hilarious because it's Liam Neeson, and I hear he's dating someone. I forgot that, and it turns out it's true. Liam, hold on. He's doing not bad for himself. Liam Neeson dating Pamela Anderson. Yes, he's dating Pamela Anderson. Look at that. So, I mean, go for it. You know what I mean? But yes. So, have you seen the preview for? No, I mean, after his wife died, right? I mean, he pretty much was heartbroken, and he kind of just whatever. He kind of just did his thing, you know. But yeah, I saw that they officially came out public, and I was like, hey, look at that. And she's just hot off of a movie called The Last Showgirl, which was really, really good. It's coming up for several awards, for Oscar and Academy Award season and all that good stuff. But anyways, the Naked Gun. So Naked Gun 4, essentially. 44 and a third. I don't know how how they would number it like they did with the old ones. But yeah, Naked Gun 4. Have you seen the previews for this? It looks pretty hilarious. Yeah. I like the little scene where they show all the actors who are playing descendants of the previous actors. So you've got Liam Neeson, you know, of course, the son of Leslie Nielsen's character, and then you have the very last person, because people forget O.J. Simpson was in these movies. So there's even a character who's a descendant of him, and he looks up and he's like, "Nah, man, nah." And it was, but I do have this one on my queue to go see at some point, because I want to be able to do the review on Wednesday. We're going to be reviewing this one and together, I guess, for Wednesday. We won't be doing a full breakdown for either one of them, though. We will kind of combine review and breakdown for those just this week, because there's two of them. But then next week after that, weapons, we'll do a full breakdown for weapons and stuff, so on and so forth. Make sure you guys give some love to Sarah. She's doing a wonderful job. I make these long, rambling scripts about the films that I see, and she does a pretty good job, doing the recordings and stuff, even though she says Galacticus like you instead of Galactus. We love you, Sarah. We're just joking. But yeah. Anyways, but yeah. So Naked Gun comes out today or yesterday. Sorry, August 1st. And so make sure if you're looking for something fun and funny to see, you know, this is probably the type of movie. You know, we all need a little bit of levity right now and stuff. So you know, and as always, you know, F ice. So this is the perfect movie to go see that. You know, a bunch of bumbling buffoons. Kind of makes sense, right? All right, next up on our list here is Freakier Friday. Do you guys remember the first Freaky Friday with Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis, where they did the little mom-daughter body swap thing? Yeah, so this one, Tess and Anna discover that lightning may indeed strike twice as they navigate the myriad challenges that come when two families merge. So not only are mother and daughter swapping, but now mother, daughter, stepdaughter, and mother-in-law. Yeah, and mother-in-law swapping. There's a bunch of swapping going on. And to be honest, I can't really remember who the other cast is joining them, but I know Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan are returning, right? And Lindsay Lohan, she looks a lot better than she did there for a while. She's I mean, well, you guys will hear it in my review. You know, I've already seen this one. So I'm trying to stay vague. But yes, I saw this one earlier. I know it's not coming out until next Friday, but I saw this one early, and it's funny. It's good. This is Lindsay's wheelhouse. This is where she should stay at when it comes to acting. She is just not cut out for the heavy dramatic roles, but the over-the-top dramatic stuff, you know, in a comedy film, she's perfect. She nails it. She picks up just where she left off with films like Mean Girls and stuff. She just slides right back into that groove, you know. And now that she's looking a lot more healthy, I should say. Like, I mean, not just from the drugs and all that other stuff like that, but also just whatever about her life has recently changed. You can see that it's also affected her in a positive way, right? That she doesn't look like, you know, she's stressed out and trying to claw her way back. She looked like she had a lot of fun. And Jamie Lee Curtis, she is always going to be a young girl at heart. She and Sigourney Weaver are like never aging. And Helen Mirren, right? Helen Mirren doesn't seem to age either, which that's another movie on our list coming up. But anyways, yeah, so Freakier Friday comes out next, hold on, error. YouTube is not. Keep going. Keep talking. Yes. Oh, that's another one I can't wait for. All right. Moderation. Sorry. There's some. I guess there's a little. Is my thing still loading stuff? Yeah, it is. Okay. Well, sorry if there's a little bit choppy, guys. If you guys experience a little bit of a buffer and everything, I am still uploading some videos online. I literally had to not get rid of, but archive like about 2 terabytes of footage of all the videos we've done so far, you know, and I don't want to just delete them. I wanted to archive them in case we ever want to do something with those, you know. And so I'm uploading them to my online storage, and there's still about 19 hours and 38 minutes left. It's been running for 3 days, so there's a lot. Some of these videos are like 40 something gigs. Yeah, it's crazy. Anyways, sorry about that. So if it's a little bit buffery, choppy, my bad. I apologize. Anyways, yeah, so Freaky Friday comes out August 8th. Make sure you guys check it out. I think it's pretty good, but you guys will see my full review on the channel as usual, hosted again by the wonderful Sarah. Next up is, well, I might as well go to Weapons. Weapons is, I just watched it for the first time last night. I don't want to spoil anything for this, but holy cow. It is it is not anything that I predicted was going to happen in this film, which is crazy. Um, that's all I'm going to say about it. There, of course, this one is going to get a full breakdown and review coming out next week, not this week. But wow, that's all I can say is wow. It was really. I won't say it's perfect. It's not the perfect like horror film, but it's really really good. It's a toss up between my two favorites of this year is either Weapons or Bring Her Back. Those are my two favorites so far this year. Yeah, Bring Her Back was surprising. Like I thought it was just going to be a by the numbers possession type film, and then it turned out to be more of a abusive, crazy lady, trying to convince herself what she was doing. It turned out to be way better, more in depth than I thought it was going to be. So, Bring Her Back was really good, but Weapons is kind of the same. You think it's going to be like, I don't know. Yeah, no, none of what you see. You'll need to see the film to add. There's more to it, way more to it. Like the trailers, if you compared the trailers to like a superhero film, the trailer showed you that Superman puts on glasses. That's it. They didn't show you anything else about his origins, about his powers, about anything else that he was doing. Just that he puts on glasses to become Clark Kent. That is how much information the trailer has given you, right? For Weapons, because there is so much more going on. And I mean, everybody in that film is impressive, especially Julia Garner, who was also just in Fantastic Four as the Silver Surfer Shia LaBeouf, and Benedict Wong. If you know him from the Marvel movies as well, Wong. Josh Brolin, Thanos himself is in it. I mean, he plays Josh Brolin essentially, but some of the other characters, some of the other actors, they play very much against type, and it's fantastic. I don't want to spoil anything, but definitely I would 100% suggest going and see it. But just in case, if you're wondering, Weapons says, when all but one child from the same classroom mysteriously vanish on the same night at exactly the same time, a community is left questioning who or what is behind their disappearance. So, let me hear some of your theories. Since I can't say anything, let's just hear what... As for you guys who didn't know, Zach Krieger was the guy who did the film Barbarian, which was also really good. There's also surprisingly like really big moments of comedy in this movie. Like, but it's done in a way, like the Justin Long scene in Barbarian where you first meet him and you just start laughing because you're like, what the hell, right? Because he's like trying to measure the house and I can get extra square footage from this secret basement I just found. There's like, it's dark comedy, but there are moments like that in Weapons as well. No, the trailers are essentially like it's the first 10 minutes of the movie, and that's it. Like the everything else. I mean, some of the subsequent trailers show you a few things that happen later, but for the most part, the story in the trailer that they tell is only like the first 10 minutes of the movie, and then the movie picks up after that, and it's divided into three acts, like not three separate, but three little story beats. So and every time, yeah, kind of the same way Barbarian was, right? Where it starts off with them meeting, then it starts up with Justin Long, and then it starts up with their escape and blah, 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 right? Weapons kind of does that too. Every time a new story starts, a whole bunch of new information is brought out to you, and you're like, oh, what do I do with this now? You know, everything I was just thinking was going to happen, but all this is now happening. So my theory won't make sense now, you know, and you just keep, and it keeps going. It's really great. It's really well done. They do the J.J. Abrams mystery box, but they actually have an ending for it, you know. Anyway, so the film comes out Friday, August 8th. Make sure you guys go see it. I'm gonna go see this a second time. Yeah, is he coming? Oh, that sucks. Well, RRP Steve. All right, so that was Weapons. Definitely go see it. Next up on our list is there's let's see, what are we looking at here? I guess 15th. Oh, well, Nobody 2. I never saw the first Nobody. Did you? There's quite a few people I've heard quite a few people talk about it, but it's one of those, like, this guy goes around and he's kind of like beats the crap out of a bunch of bad people type of movie, you know, like Novocaine was, and Death Wish, and all those kind of movies. You know what I mean? Sometimes those are good. But for me, it's all about the lead, who's doing the running around beating up. You know what I mean? And I just don't get me wrong. I love Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, but otherwise I don't care about Bob Odenkirk that much. So, and I mean, people said it was great, but wow, he's getting old. Jesus. Yeah. And Sharon Stone, huh? Well, let's see. The plot says workaholic assassin Hutch Mansell takes his family on a much needed vacation to the small tourist town of Plummerville. However, he soon finds himself in the crosshairs of a corrupt theme park operator, a shady sheriff, and a bloodthirsty crime boss. This sounds like the plot of Beverly Hills Cop 3 without Axel Foley. I mean, it's coming straight to Netflix, right? It's not coming to theaters. Yeah, so if this is your bag, August 15th, this movie is going to come out. I don't really have much to say about it. Like I said, I never saw the first one. I just saw that people were talking, oh my God, they made a sequel, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, cool. It's just not, I love dumb action movies, but this one just, yeah, this one just did not speak to me, you know. So I don't know. Maybe if it was someone dumb, big and dumb like John Cena or something, I would have been more into it. But it's not. So not that John Cena is some great actor, but he's perfect for these dumb action comedies because he's just a big beefy. It's not that John Cena's actually dumb, you know, but he's good at playing dumb. You know what I mean? And so I don't know. I just like watching him, you know, do his thing. But whatever. Nobody 2 comes out August 15th on Netflix. If that's your thing, go check it out. The other movie that's coming out on the 15th in theaters is called Americana. Now, I actually haven't seen the trailer for this. I just wrote it down real quick. All right, well then, why don't you tell everybody? Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, why don't you read the plot for everybody? Should be on the. Now this movie is classified as an action drama, right? Crime thriller. Okay, yeah. Well, action drama. My yeah. Yeah. This is definitely up my alley. Now, I do want to see the preview, and I'm going to make up my mind after that. But the when I read about the premise, I was like, oh, I didn't hear anything about this movie, right? Like everybody's talking about Fantastic Four and Superman and all that stuff right now. I didn't hear anything about this movie, and I was like, oh, I think this is going to be one of those sneak hit type movies, because doesn't it star what's her face from Prey? Halsey, yeah. Yeah, there's quite a few big names in this. So I'm actually kind of curious because I like I said I love the cast and I kind of wanna know more about it. So I still have to check out the trailer myself, but it does look good. The Home, okay. I didn't. Okay, okay, okay. Well, it is out on August 15th in theaters. So make sure you check it out. It's called Americana. All right, next up is, let's see, August 22. Honey Don't. This one is definitely on my review list. Small town private investigator Honey O'Donoghue probes a series of strange deaths that are tied to a mystery church. Now, if you like those kind of movies, like the Knives Out movies and stuff like that, this is kind of like that. It's like a murder mystery, except female led instead of Daniel Craig's charisma. But it looks pretty violent. So I'm but it also has a throwback to those kind of classic 1970s crime detective thrillers. Like the PI ones, right, where it's not really like a real detective, but a whatever. Obviously she's a private investigator, right? And it's written by the same guy who wrote the one with Ryan Gosling and Gladiator. What's his name? Why can't I think of any of their names today? Russell Crowe. The Nice Guys. It's written by the same guy who wrote The Nice Guys. So it's going to be full of sarcastic, dark humor, over the top violent moments, and a pretty good mystery, I think. So that one comes out on August 22nd in theaters. It's called Honey Don't, which we will be doing a review for. But also on the 22nd, a movie called Trust. A Hollywood starlet retreats to a remote cabin after a scandal, but she's not alone. Betrayed by the man she trusted the most, she soon finds herself trapped in a brutal game of survival. So very much like Sleeping with the Enemy style with Julia Roberts. I'm looking forward to that one too. Especially given the current Hollywood climate going on right now, with all the information coming out after the Diddy party thing and all that stuff like that. This doesn't seem that far fetched anymore, which is kind of sad, but kind of whatever. But that one also, it's just called Trust. That one comes out on August 22nd. And last but not least, another film, but much more lighthearted. And all three of these are like murder mysteries, which is great. They're all coming out on the same day. But another murder mystery film, but this one a lot more lighthearted, The Thursday Murder Club. And this one I really want to see, mostly because of the people involved, because it's Helen Mirren, I think Ben Kingsley, Pierce Brosnan, right, James Bond himself, all these people. It's called The Thursday Murder Club. 4 retirees spend their time solving cold case murders for fun, but their casual sleuthing takes a thrilling turn when they find themselves with a real whodunit on their hands. I mean, it's gonna be filled with old people jokes, I can't run, my knees, type of jokes and stuff. But sometimes those films, like Grumpy Old Men and stuff, sometimes those films have their charm if the cast is good. You know what I mean? So, and I feel like the cast in this one is pretty good, and I'm curious to see how well they do. I mean, 3 of them have been in actual spy thriller major motion films over their careers and stuff like that. So to take that and then put it in a more comedic setting, I'm very, very interested to see how that goes. Because like I said, you got James Bond in there. You've got, well, what was Helen Mirren was not just in, she was in Red, but she was also in Fast and the Furious, right? Where she's like the secret badass lady or whatever, the mother of Jason Statham or something, right? Yeah, and then Ben Kingsley, of course. Ben Kingsley's been in like everything. I mean, so I think it's going to be fun. But that movie also comes out on the 22nd in theaters. All 3 of those movies, all big crime thrillers, all out on the same day. Super hyped. Let's see, what else we got? Now, technically, this movie released 2 years ago. In 2023. It released in the Cannes film, like the indie film circuit, and it was highly praised. People were like, "Holy crap, this is nostalgia, like reborn. This was the greatest thing ever to come out of trauma since the original films, and Class of Nukem High and all that stuff like that." But the reason it took so long to get to theaters, the movie is apparently so violent that they had to basically cut a bunch of stuff to make a theatrical version, which is what's coming to theaters now. And then when it comes out on streaming, which I think they want to do at the same time as the theaters or like a few weeks later, will be the original cut with all the unrated, stuff in it. But if any of you have seen the trailer, you can already tell people's heads are going to explode, balls are going to be ripped off, people are going to have their own body parts shoved down their throat, etc., etc., etc. And for those, yeah, this is Deadpool on a, rated X level. Yeah, like this is way, way beyond that. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the Toxic Avenger, he was a low budget film created back in like the 80s. Basically, a janitor falls into some. He gets bullied at the Traumaville school, and then gets thrown out a window, lands into some toxic sludge, and becomes this super mutated guy, right? And then he decides to become a superhero, right? They even had a kids cartoon show based on this, right? Called the Toxie and his friends, right? And it was great. All these mutated slush looking dudes, right? And it kind of taught people it doesn't matter what you look like, everybody can be a hero, which was super quote unquote woke since right from the beginning, right? Which is great. For those of you who don't believe that anything in the 80s was woke. But and it spawned quite a cult following. But there was always a low budget Traumaville type of thing, right? Now they had like a huge budget for this, and they got Peter Dinklage to play the role, which is great. And it's basically a reboot or whatever, a remake, I should say, because they're starting with his origins and everything else, on a bigger scale. But man, it just looks so good. It looks so violent, and it's also super darkly comedic for those of you who are into that kind of stuff like that, dead baby jokes and all. So it will hit all those spots if you've been missing that classic gross out and over the top offensive humor type of stuff like that, But see, the difference is this is not one of those movies where it's like, that humor didn't age well. They're doing it on purpose, and that's what makes it so fun, They don't just laugh at one type of people; they laugh at all types of people, which is a little bit better than a film that only, singles out a single group as haha, these people suck, and it's like, with the exception of any movie that's making fun of conservatives. No offense, well, full offense, I guess, intended, because holy shit, what's wrong with you guys? Anyways, this movie comes out August 29th in theaters, called The Toxic Avenger, and there's one other film coming out on the 29th called Caught Stealing. You want to read the plot for this one? Yes, what a plot, right? Can you watch my cat and then suddenly people want to kill you? But what's great is I believe it stars Austin Butler, right? Of Elvis fame. And he is up and coming, and he is great. I loved him in Dune 2, or Dune Part 2. He was amazing. He fully transformed, and the guy really has a lot of talent. So I'm kind of hyped. I can't wait to see what he does with this film. This movie, the premise sounds ridiculous, but what are you going to do? The plot doesn't always have to be deep to be entertaining. She can't see me, but I'm waved. But yeah, this one comes out on August 29th in theaters, called Caught Stealing. So if you're looking for a kind of goofy action thriller type thing, definitely check this one out. But I believe that covers all the films this month. Now on to the shows, which there's a few on here that I'm really hyped for. Yep. Oh, okay. Go ahead. I'll keep going. All right. All right, guys. So we got, first up, Eyes of Wakanda. Warriors of Wakanda travel the world retrieving vibranium artifacts. So I believe this is an animated series, but I'm not quite sure. I haven't actually seen the trailer for it. But basically, it's a side story, right? To kind of explain what Wakanda's position is, because if you remember from the second Black Panther film, Shuri and her mom and stuff, they basically pulled away from the United Nations. They were like, you know what, we're done with y'all. You guys come here, steal our stuff. We're done with y'all. And then Teo Takula, I can't remember what their place was called, but Namor's people, they were like, yo, you're because you brought vibranium to the world, you made people find out about us and stuff like that. So now we have to kill you guys or kill them, blah, 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 blah. Right. So Wakanda is now taking preemptive steps to essentially gather up all the vibranium and bring that stuff back home so that, people could stop using it. People stop, that they're no longer a threat. Right. Which I assume also, well, I don't know if that's going to include Captain America's shield or Falcon's wings or any of that stuff like that, because those were gifts, right? Bucky's arm, those were all gifts to those people. So I think that those are safe, But for example, all the vibranium stuff that was stolen by Justin Hammer and everything like that, I think they're pretty much going to be taking him on, if I'm not mistaken. But I guess we'll see. Like I said, I haven't seen a trailer for this. I saw a teaser of the logo, which didn't tell me much. So I don't know. Let's see. I can do this now. Bloop. There we go. Look at that, so you guys can see me in full. Next up is a show called Butterfly. Butterfly, David Young is a former U.S. intelligence operative who lives in South Korea. His past soon comes back to haunt him as a sinister spy organization sends a sociopathic agent to kill him. So if you guys have ever seen this film from the 90s called Assassins, where it's Sylvester Stallone and um, Antonio Banderas, then it's kind of that. Uh, yeah, whatever. Anyways, it stars Daniel Day Kim, which you might know from the show Lost. He was the husband, right? And I don't know. It looks pretty cool. It looks pretty action packed. It is. I believe it is a Korean production. Let's find out. Yes, it is a Korean production, even though it is going to be on. It doesn't say. I'm gonna assume this is gonna be on. Oh, Prime. There it is. New original series, Prime. So it will be on Prime. But it is a Korean production and it also stars Piper Perabo and Raina Hardesty. Piper Perabo, you might know from shows like Coyote, or from like Coyote Ugly, The Prestige. Those are movies. Angel Has Fallen, stuff like that. She was also on Grey's Anatomy, I believe. But anyways, Perabo. Anyways, comes out August 13th on Amazon Prime. Make sure you check that out. Looks really cool. Next up is a show called 12. 12 is an upcoming South Korean fantasy action superhero television series directed by Kang Dae-yu, starring Mae Dong-seok and Park Hyung-sik and oh my god, I'm going to butcher all of these. It stars a lot of people, okay? They're all, I'm assuming they're all big names in Korea, which is great, I love that more and more Korean-based shows and stuff are coming, especially through Netflix and stuff like that. They've done a really great job. It broadens our horizons beyond Hollywood, which is really good. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of things that are unique to different cultures and stuff that we might not think of, and it's like, oh man, like for example, everybody loves Squid Game, right? And whatnot, or what's the other one? Alice in Borderland and stuff like that, right? There's a lot of cultural differences between American society and theirs, and it adds to their unique storytelling and whatever, and even their acting styles and whatnot. So I'm hyped. 12 is coming to Apple Plus, I believe, on August 23rd. Then you have The Rainmaker, which is a remake of the book, and the movie. The original movie was with Matt Damon and I believe Danny DeVito and stuff, and Mickey Rourke, I want to say. But it was really cool. Anyways, the plot is young attorney Rudy Baylor, alongside Bruiser Stone and Deck Shiflett, battles a powerful law firm led by Leo F. Drummond and his girlfriend Sarah Plankmore, unearthing a dark conspiracy that shows how far his opponents are willing to go to win. And it comes out on August 15th on Prime. Essentially, it was like, if you watch the film or read the book, it's like a big environmental case, that caused some people to get sick, to get cancer, to whatever, right? And the company, of course, like many companies, deny. It's not us. It didn't happen, and they make things, evidence, people, whistleblowers, whatever, disappear, right? And so, of course, the Rainmaker, young Rudy Baylor finds just the right pieces to hit them and knock them down a peg, and wins the big settlement for all the people involved. It's really great. Spoilers, I guess, but I mean, usually these kind of shows end up in in a winning court case. Very, at least if it's like the one case throughout the whole season. Unless it's designed to be like, will they, won't they? But this one definitely is always going to be a feel-good thing. But it looks interesting. I'm definitely probably going to check it out just to see if it has the same charm as the film with Matt Damon does. If it doesn't, well, then that's no big deal. Now, on to the show that I'm super hyped for, Alien Earth. This one comes out August 12th on Hulu, and it's in the Alien universe, right? Xenomorphs, Weyland-Yutani, all that stuff. And with the upcoming Predator, is it Badlands or Predator Hunter of Hunters? One of the two. I think it's Badlands is the live action one. Whatever. One of the two that's coming out also now has Elle Fanning as an android from Weyland-Yutani, which is great. So those universes are merging. All this stuff is happening. Anyway, it's really cool. I can't wait for Alien Earth. It looks spooky. What I'm really hyped for is that the writer, Noah Hawley, who also wrote the Fargo TV show, is a big fan of the toys, like the bull alien toy, the snake alien toy, the gorilla alien toy, all the toys of the aliens where the facehugger attached itself to a random Earth animal and then transformed into the xenomorph version, right? And he was like, he wanted to take that concept into further. Not only have the people on the ship been experimenting with the facehuggers with different animals, Earth animals like sheep and whatever, but they also went around to planets and found other creatures and brought those back. So we're not only getting the facehugger xenomorph creature, we're getting tons of aliens from all sorts of locations, right? Which I'm going to assume one or two of those is probably from the Predator homeworld. I think that's what they're setting up, like a big joined universe thing, right? Because of the movie coming out and all that stuff like that. I think that's going to be one of the big reveals, is that they went and visited the Predator homeworld. That's where they came across a lot of this stuff, So we'll see. And I think because they keep showing it, that eyeball thing, the eyeball squid thing, that's one of them. And then maybe I don't know if this is still canon, but the Predadogs or whatever. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what they do. I'm super hyped. I will be doing reviews for the episodes every week. I don't know. I don't think Sarah will be recording them. I think I will be recording them. So you have to bear with my voice, But I tell you what, I will break down every Easter egg that I can throughout this show. We will go in depth. It's going to be awesome. Well, there you are, Jamie. If you want to come back, let me know. Just pop right back in. Anyways, Alien Earth, August 12th, Hulu. Super excited. A quick recap. The plot is basically a big ship where they've been experimenting with these things crashes on Earth in a city, and now I believe the person from Weyland-Yutani is like, get me the stuff that's on that ship. I want that stuff. And so they send a bunch of people in, one of which is an android, one of the new model types or whatever, and, chaos ensues. Shit hits the fan, right? So super hyped, looks super threatening, super bloody, super good. I'm hyped. Last but not least, this show already started yesterday. It's called Chief of War, and it stars Jason Momoa. The story of the unification of Hawaii from an indigenous perspective. A Hawaiian war chief joins a campaign to unite the warring islands in order to save them from the threat of colonization. Apparently, we all know what happened. They lost. Sorry, that sounds bad. But no, it is curious because I love the fact that they're doing it from the indigenous people's perspective instead of just another whitewashed history thing, right? The white people, they saved them. No, they conquered them. Let's be honest. That's what they did. And a lot of innocent lives were lost, and a lot of traditions were lost. And now with the Airbnb market, a lot of people are losing their homes and stuff like that. So make sure, if you guys aren't familiar with that, go check that out. It is a very serious issue. A lot of people are buying up all these properties, skyrocketing property sales, and crashing the housing market there, so that people who actually live there, can't actually afford to live there because the prices are just too high. I mean, at this point, what landlord, if they see all these Airbnb houses and they're getting what, like $500 a night or something like that, so the landlords are looking around and saying, well, $500 a night, and I'm only charging $1,500 or $2,000 a month. I better be charging whatever, $8,000 a month or something like that. And it's ridiculous, So people don't really think about that. They're like, no way, that doesn't happen. It is happening. So it sucks. But anyways, about the show, Chief of War looks really good. It will be on Apple TV, and it stars Jason Momoa. I don't know if he's Hawaiian, to be honest. I know The Rock. The Rock is whatever. And so I don't really know that much about Jason Momoa, except that he was married to Lisa Bonet and that he played a shitty Aquaman. But other than that, it's Jason Momoa. So anyways, I'm looking forward to it. It does look interesting. Like I said, it's from the perspective of the indigenous Hawaiians, and so that already has me hooked. But that is it for the TV series coming out. Oh, again, Apple TV, August 1st. So it started yesterday. Anyways, and that is it for the TV series. Now on to games. There is only really, I have 3 games written down, but let's be honest, there's only one game I really want to talk about, and that is Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. I grew up playing the Metal Gear Solid games. I loved Metal Gear Solid 1. I was okay. I loved the tanker part on Metal Gear Solid 2. And then Metal Gear Solid 3 blew me away with its James Bond influenced 1960s super spy whatever, Rambo-ness, right? It was great. It was awesome. To get a full HD remake of it, I'm hyped. This is so cool. You know what I mean? It brings back all the original voice cast and everything like that. But for those of you unfamiliar, this one actually takes place in the past. You are not Solid Snake, at least not the Snake that everybody knows, right? You are actually playing Big Boss, so his dad, right? Back in, like, before he had Baby Snake. Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater brings MGS3 to modern systems, rebuilt from the ground up in a new engine. A prequel set during the Cold War, you play as Naked Snake, an operative tasked with infiltrating the Soviet reunion, and rescuing a weapons engineer. But it is so badass. It is the James Bond game that without James Bond. You know what I mean? Like instead you have a American super spy guy, right? But it is essentially the James Bond game that everybody wanted after GoldenEye. It was so well done. It has so many cool mechanics. I am totally hyped for it. Comes out on August 28th, so end of the month, for PS5 and PC. So, sorry, Xbox users, not this time. You guys got it once before, but not this time. But you can always get it on PC, right? Samoan, yeah, The Rock. And, okay, well, I didn't know if Jason Momoa was Hawaiian or not. But yeah, The Rock is Samoan, that's right. I mean, all right, so the other 2 games that I have listed in here, I'll just mention them. You got Shinobi, Art of Vengeance. Play as legendary shinobi Joe Musashi, master of the ninja arts. After finding your village burned to the ground and your clan turned into stone, you must set off on a quest for vengeance, ready to face an unparalleled evil and avenge your clan. Comes out on August 29th for PS5 and Xbox. It's a side-scroller beat-em-up. If you've played any of the Shinobi games, it looks cool, looks flashy, and it's a new one in the series, right? And the other one is Lost Soul Aside. Embark on an epic odyssey to save your sister and the whole of humankind from dimensional invaders in Lost Soul Aside, a stylish single-player action-adventure RPG. Looks cool, looks flashy. Don't know anything about the story because the trailers are all just the cinematic vagueness. But like, again, it looks cool. You know, I have it on my radar just in case, but we'll see. I'm going to wait for people to buy it and what they say about it before I personally pick it up. There's so many games coming out lately that I just don't really have the time to play them. I mean, you watch me on Twitch, I play a lot of different things with people. So, but this one comes out on August 29th for PS5 and PC. All right, so that's it for games. Now we're moving to the last portion of the stream. News. There are 3 big news things, and 2 of them are actually part of, well, actually, let's say all 3 of them are kind of related. First of all, Stephen Colbert gets fired for financial reasons. Let's be real. All right, we all know this is part of the Paramount CBS deal. Oh, Jamie says, yeah, don't forget about the, sorry, before I get into that, Jamie says, don't forget about the new Xbox handheld system, but I don't think that's coming yet. I think that's still a couple of months away. I think that's not coming until around the Christmas season, so, but I'll have to look that up. Anyways, so Stephen Colbert was fired for financial reasons, but let's be real, it's part of the Paramount CBS deal. And Stephen Colbert is one of the most profitable, if not the most profitable show on the network, and firing them for financial reasons is like an oxymoron. It just doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? So we all know the real truth, that because they want to sell off, or they want to have their merger, and they just want to get it over with, so they settled with Trump, and this was probably one of his stipulations: get rid of Colbert, right? But it looks like he's going to be bouncing back onto his feet, because several, almost all of Hollywood, at least the nice side, not the other side, have come out in support of Colbert, and he's already getting deals offered to him for his own streaming series and all sorts of stuff. So super hyped to see him come back. It would be great, because he's a great guy. He's a great host. He cares a lot about people, and I think what they did was super shady. But speaking of Paramount being shady, they screwed themselves, because South Park came out swinging at the Origin Chief with their first episode of the season, nailing him. Let's call him Microdon. And well, there's nothing that Trump or Paramount can really do, because they signed a $1.2 billion contract or something, right? Which means that if as much as Trump huffs and puffs and wants them fired or deported or whatever, in order for all that to be legal, he would have to pay them out billions. And for those of you unaware, Trump, he doesn't have billions. He doesn't even really have millions. The dude's kind of broke. He's one of the worst financial advisors ever. Hold on, why is my camera? It's going really weird here. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Blah, 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 blah. There we go. Look at that. That's better, right? Anyways, yeah. So Trump is broke. He doesn't really have that much money. That's why he's always out there begging and stuff. And he makes bad investments, and then everything. I'm just gonna straight up say it. I don't really care if I alienate some of our audience, but he lies all the time. I mean, just look at the news from earlier today or whatever. I created so many jobs in America. No, not really. I mean, yeah, you created a lot of farming jobs and stuff like that, but the job market is super down, more unemployed than ever before. You completely ruined the economy and stuff. And even his own advisors said that. And what did he do? He turned around and fired them because they didn't say what he wanted them to say. So let's. What else can he say about that? It's, he's like a toddler throwing a tantrum, Anyways, but speaking of hitting against our, our dictator, the string of guest hosts on Jimmy Kimmel are absolutely tearing the administration apart and bringing more and more people together than ever before, which is great, like in a united cause. It started with Diego Luna, and then you had Alan Cumming, and I can't even remember all of them. Anthony Anderson, so many more, and there's more to come. And I feel like, in part, Jimmy did this on purpose. Like, he didn't really need the vacation. He took the vacation on purpose to give all these other actors and whatnot a platform to speak from, which is great. You know what I mean? I'm not knocking it. I think that's a great idea. Maybe it just happened by chance, but I think that he did it on purpose to give them a platform to speak from so that they, could reach a bigger audience without repercussion. And I think it's great, because we do need to stand together in this country. We do need to admit when injustice is happening and hold people accountable for it. You know what I mean? Everybody always wants to do the yeah but argument. For example, like, oh, we need to deport the immigrants or whatever who are here illegally or something like that. And they always want to sit there and say, if somebody compares it to, like, for example, if somebody takes what's happening now with ICE and compares it to the Gestapo, and concentration camps, right? There will always be some idiot who's out there goes, yeah, but they're criminals. No. Over 90% of them, or 80% or something, I can't remember the exact statistic, but I know it's a huge number, but a huge number of them have been proven to be innocent. No crimes involved, no nothing. Most of them are even in the process of being documented citizens, and you know who the real criminals are coming over here? The ones who can afford that stupid Trump Visa card, the gold card or whatever it's called. You know what I mean? There's no regular, no offense, or whatever, if I say this, I'm sorry if it comes out wrong, but no regular family trying to flee from their country or move on or whatever from their country, like Mexico or so. No regular family looking for work coming to the United States is going to have millions of dollars to spend on a gold Visa card and stuff like that, because those are the regular families coming here. The people who can afford that, those are going to be the ones who are like the drug dealers, the cartel members, and stuff like that. So in fact, he's making it easier for them to get here, and deporting hardworking, honest people, which is ridiculous. Like it's the exact opposite of what he's promising. I'm not even going to get angry for it, but I just wanted to point out that, because those things are media related, that Jimmy Kimmel out there is doing some good work. Along with all the people who guest host on his show, and I'm glad Colbert is going to be landing on his feet. And you know what? I'm not a huge South Park fan, but you know what? You guys rock for that. Keep it going. Don't ever let anybody slow you guys down. Anyways, so that's going to be it for the live stream today. Oh, and coming up, I just want some channel news. We are going to be continuing to do our weekly videos. We are going to be continuing to do the reviews as well and the full breakdowns, except for on some films, they just don't warrant a full breakdown. So we're going to so like, for example, coming up with the Naked Gun review and stuff, we're going to kind of do a review and breakdown in a single video. So what we'll do is we'll do the review, the non-spoiler review first, then warn you guys, and then go into more details about certain things that way. But for films like Weapons, for example, I will be doing the full breakdown for that, so don't worry about that. And again, we'll also start be doing breakdowns for some of the shows coming up. Alien Earth is on my list. The Fallout TV show is on my list. Welcome to Derry, which just dropped a second teaser trailer, and it looks amazing. That one's definitely on my list. So keep an eye out for those if that's your thing. Make sure you give us some love. Make sure you like those videos, share those videos, and subscribe to the channel. Get the word out. Help help spread the time. Make sure you watch all the way through. That can only help us. It really helps us. It really supports us. We are here to celebrate films and TV, and to also just generally be good people. That's what we want to do. We want to. All communities are welcome here, right? It doesn't matter where you come from, what your background is, and stuff like that. You know what? We may take the mick out of conservatives and stuff, but that doesn't mean that if you are religious, Christian, you believe in Jesus and all that stuff like that, that doesn't mean we have anything against you, because you know what? If you truly are a Christian, you have nothing to worry about, because you are a great person, just as much as anybody else, because essentially, without all the religious beliefs involved, the idea behind being a Christian is just to be there for your fellow neighbor, right? To be a good person and to do good, right? So, and that's all we want from our audience, right? I do have to say, there are some people who come to the channel and they leave really nasty comments. We do not appreciate that. Your comment gets automatically deleted, and if you want to sit there and, like I said, I don't know why I have to keep reminding people of this. If you guys want to sit there and go, well, I thought the movie was crap, or I thought, you guys should have had this movie on this list instead, that's fine. You guys, that's whatever, we want, that's okay. But if you start sitting there and attacking my hosts or any of that stuff like that, no, that ain't happening. That ain't gonna fly. So, leave the personal remarks out of it, and stick to, whatever, movies and TV and stuff. Again, hit or miss with the political stuff. If you want to make a joke here or there, that's fine. As long as you're not being racist, sexist, any of those kind of things, right? If you guys say that kind of stuff, sorry, it's got to go. You can't be here either. We don't appreciate that, because again, like I said, this community is for everybody, right? No matter what skin color, what culture, what sexuality, what gender, what anything, you know what I mean? Everybody's welcome here. We're all here to enjoy movies, shows, video games, whatever. We want to have, I don't want to say a safe space, but whatever, for everyone here to hang out and do their thing, right? But anyways, I want to thank you guys all for checking out the channel. Like I said, like, share, subscribe. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow over on Twitch. If you guys are big into gaming, I will be streaming live again from 12 to 3 with Jay and possibly Molly Murder. We'll see. We're going to be doing a little bit of Peak. And then also we're going to be doing some Nuclear Nightmare soon. Again, they updated with new maps. Anyways, otherwise, make sure you guys follow us on all the socials, right? There's Twitter @StudiosFat. And I know we're on Blue Sky, and we're on Instagram and all that good stuff. All the links are below. Make sure you click on all those. And big news, but this won't happen until probably next year, but we are completely overhauling the shop, which not only are we getting a new distributor who will be able to ship internationally for those of you who are not in the US, but also whole new merch, different, like different styles, different things to update with our logos and all that stuff like that. I'm working hard on it with a couple of people, and like I said, it's going to take some time, but we are going to, whatever, show you guys some cool stuff. And also keep an eye out. Soon, I believe around Halloween time, I will be launching a Kickstarter for our next short film. If you guys enjoyed Cabin of Blood, well, I have, I'll be dropping some details about our next film project soon. And, hopefully you guys will come out for that one and give us some love and help us achieve it. We promise to do a lot better this time. We want to, we've learned a lot of stuff in the meantime, so our skills have improved. It can only get better. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I've been your host, Raging. Jamie already left. And you guys have a wonderful day. Peace. Peace out.